coming. I actually was meaning for this to be an actually short video. Thought this was going to be a recording, but technical difficulties, etc. So let's get into it. All right, guys. Yeah, I just want to get into it. As you know, your boy Trump dropped yet another mixtape, another classic from the orange one. And you know, it's bound to stir up conversation. It already has. And this time he took his circus to the National Association of Black Journalists. And most of us saw it already. I just want to give my little bits and pieces. And we saw where Trump, true to form, made a complete ass of himself. And obviously he attempted to connect with an audience that he's often been critical with, or I should say critical or rude too, I should say, as Rachel Scott did point out. And his approach seemed almost desperate, almost like he was trying to win him over with shock value rather than a substantive dialogue. But let me just see who's coming to the building, if I may. First of all, shout out Kofi and Black Anonymous, Last Call, Kwanzi. And yeah, I mean, I'm going to say a couple of some things that may surprise some of y'all, but I'll just, again, few main points that were brought up during this shit show. And really from the beginning of the interview, I mean, we saw it. I mean, obviously Rachel Scott introduced him and the guns came ablazing. Now, she could have softened it early on because it doesn't take much to elicit a response from Agent Orange. It just isn't. I mean, it really, she came out guns ablazing, asking, first of all, why should black voters trust the former president when he's used language such as animal, rabid, and loser? We can't forget the Central Park 5. We can't forget shithole countries. We can't forget the housing crime. We can just go down the list with Mr. Trump. And of course, he was offended because she came out guns a-blazing. Now, excuse me. And he kept on addressing his record. And of course, he comes back with, well, first of all, I've never been asked such a question and such a horrible manner. First question, you don't even say hello, how are you? Which they probably did early on because, I mean, if they treated him rudely when they when they treated him rudely when he first got there, then why did he approach the stage the way he did? No. He came on the stage waving. So, dude, I mean, what do you mean no one treated? They probably treated you and greeted you early on, and then it's right on to the point. And there's probably time constraints as well. This is why she had to ask questions right away. I've seen that in interviews like that. But yeah, straight from the gate. And then he says that he's the greatest president for black folks since Lincoln. So just automatically with the fuck shit. But what really struck me And like I said, this video is going to be fairly short. What struck me with this dude is, well, really what struck me with the interview is that there was a curious lack of male reporters feeling questions to the interviewee, particularly during an event that's organized by the National Association of Black Journalists. Now, Trump said, out of many things, he said, oh, there's a lot of black people in the audience. Yeah, of course, you're at the National Black Journalist Association. But in that audience, I'm sure there are a lot of black male reporters, interviewers. You could not have one. And according to Roland, Rachel Scott was the only legit one. Obviously, Faris Faulkner, she shouldn't have been there with the news organization she's works for is getting sued for billions, as Trump says, billions of dollars for lying and putting out false information about an election. So she was there basically to be one of his sock puppets. And of course, he was praising her throughout the interview, but still, she shouldn't have been there. And this other lady, I don't know, this is my first time even hearing this woman. She shouldn't have been there. If Rachel Scott's going to be there, okay, then have some males up there. But that may have been strategic. And let me shout out to Afro Think Tank. All right, it might have been strategic because there were obviously capable male journalists, but for some reason the decision was made to have a panel comprised of entirely women. All right, so a lot of dynamics at play in light of Trump trumping, being abrasive, rude in his demeanor as always, and the way he reacted with these women, knowing that they're women, he did feel emboldened. He's not going to do that with a bunch of men staring at. He's just not going to do that. There's too much testosterone is going to be flying back and forth. And even though Rachel did get a couple of jabs in and questions in, he's still going to feel, he's going to do what he does, which is kind of try to bully him. And so you just got to wonder, he would not have had the same, he would have had it, but it would have been messy. So maybe that's why the women had to be up there. But at the same time, when you have this comes off the heels of his vice president pick, J.D. Vance, who is getting heavily criticized for previously insulting a significant portion of the female population. All right, his dismissive remarks about women, obviously that goes across the national stage, and it became pretty clear that he was just alienating half the electorate pretty much. But also, it's a high stakes game for Trump's future. So, he's gonna get a certain backlash for this. So in a way, they might have just lined him up to fail. They might have lined him up to fail. So, and it'll be interesting because now you're going to find out how much this country really likes black women. You're going to find out how much this country really likes black women. So, but I'm just thinking, man, think about the show The View. All right, The View with the women. Could you imagine having The View and you had nothing but men on The View asking, basically, men, particularly black male journalists, like a panel of assertive black male journalists engaging in spirited conversations with guests. Unlike Fox Soul, where you got a bunch of mega feminists and gay men, all right, who are bringing people on to interview, and that's what Fox Soul is. But basically, a lighthearted banter, instead of having the lighthearted banter, just 4 black men, and it turns into a battleground, some sort of cage match almost, right? We're talking alpha males. So unlike the View's current format, which showcases women interviewing guests, there'll be like a role reversal where it becomes a chaotic showdown. And that's probably what would have happened if you had a bunch of men, definitely with Roland. Whether you like him or not, he definitely would have brought it to Trump. But I think they wanted Trump to be the villain here. And you can think about how much goodwill has Trump destroyed in less than a week after damn near getting his wig pushed back. So a blackmail version, I don't remember it. It shows you that it must have been a weak show because people I'm sure don't even remember it. But there's probably some fear of some excess male bravado that could overshadow the purpose of whatever dialogue they were trying to have. So, but if Trump bucked up with male reporters, would have been a lot of testosterone flying around. So maybe it was better to have him with women for him to show his ass. And again, they might have strategically lined him up for him to make a fool of himself. Now, there were certain things discussed. He did talk about black jobs, which is just ridiculous and funny. Umar agreed with this black job statement, which is a dumb statement. I guess he didn't listen to what Donald Trump's definition of black jobs were. Anybody that has a job. Why? Like, this dude's a dummy. Anybody that has a job, that's what a black job is. Right? Anybody that has a job, which people laughing in the yard, anyone that has a job, they're taking employment away from black people. Which, my question is, let's say that Trump becomes president. And let's say Trump gets rid of the illegal immigration, which he's not going to do. But let's say he does. Look at his audience at these Trump rallies. They're mainly poor white people. Is he going to talk to them and say, okay, wait a minute. We got to take care of the blacks first before we do anything? Do black people really think that if he gets rid of immigration that you got next? It's so stupid. He talked about the Sonia Massey killing, of course. The woman who got mowed down and executed on camera, which everyone saw. And you would think, this shows how little they're even thinking about your concerns. The fact that he's like, oh, which one was that? The lady with the water? He couldn't even explain what happened just for political purposes. Just to show face. He didn't care about that. And he was asked, well, would a cop like that get full immunity? He didn't even answer the question. And you got black people who, okay, you don't like Kamala or whatever. You're going to vote for this dude? And of course, he spoke about Harris's black identity, which, listen, every now and then, a clock is right for twice a day. He's right about Kamala. Kamala is not black. She is not black. She's obviously cosplaying. She's phony. She's fake about it. And just every move she makes, I mean, she's clearly hasn't been brought up in black culture. Lied about. I mean, just when she was dancing to Cardi B and just once you start talking about Tupac, when you go wrong with Tupac, your people gotta pull you back. Like, okay, let's just stop talking about rap. But this woman she's just too fake. I see too much of Hillary in this woman. She is a phony, and no, she is not black. Just because she says she's Jamaican doesn't mean she's black. Doesn't mean she's black. And she's using this to get into office. She's a person of color. She is not a black woman. She's not a red bone. Red bones are basically mulattoes. She's not a red bone. She's not, Afro-Latina. She is an Indian. Indian are some of the darkest people on the planet. She obviously grew up. Her lineage is a very high class. It has nothing to do with black people or Jamaicans for that matter. All right, as a resident Jamaican on the panel, he was right about that. And I can't knock him for it. I mean, everybody, y'all are trying to keep calling her black, and yeah, Joy Reid, a whole African/Caribbean talk about she's a black woman because she went to a HBCU, and because she joined a sorority. So, like, we didn't learn anything from Obama or Clinton for that matter. So Clinton had the sax, Obama had the basketball. This chick has a sorority, and you're calling her black. So he was correct about that. Now, look, I understand. I get it. You know, like I put up something in the community post. Either you're voting for the AKA or the KKK in September, right? So I get it. You don't want to vote for the candidate in Trump, all right? But this is the Democrats messing up, not planning before, and not understanding that a good chunk of black people that are not messing with Scamala, is what I call her. Yeah, listen, I'm gonna do another video on it, but this woman is not, she's not for black people. She just isn't. So anything's better than Trump, but this woman is not it. I think you really got to look into her first and really dig into this woman's credentials as far as what she is going to do for black people. But why did Trump go? That's my question. Why did he go? Well, it's simple. Trump doesn't know a lot of things. Trump is a buffoon. Trump is a lot of things. I've said it before. Trump knows how to brand. He knows how to market, and he knows the internet. This man knows how to troll. He knows how to go viral, right? He knows how to go viral. And he went on there, and he did what he does, and he went viral. Everybody was talking about Kamala and Kamala this, and I saw the memes and the paintings and everybody going crazy over Kamala. He went on this platform, and he completely shut all of that down from an internet standpoint. Everybody is now talking about him, good, bad, or indifferent. It doesn't matter. And that's all he wanted to do when he got on there. He clearly didn't do it to cater to the black audience, although I heard a lot of applauses, heard a lot of people clapping in the audience for some crazy reason. I don't know who they were. Maybe there were some of his friends that came. I don't know. There was a few people clapping in the audience, but he just came there to take all the focus off Kamala. Didn't care how he looked doing it. And now the focus is back on him. And it doesn't matter what he does. His followers are always going to follow behind him regardless. So, listen, hit the like button, hit the share button, hit subscribe. Let me just go into the comments. Yes, she did date Montel Williams. Yes, this woman slept her way, kind of slept her way to the top. Yes, that's true. She did. She was banging, what's his name, Willie Brown, when he was fully married with a whole black family at home. Now, Willie Brown ain't no good either. And she did sleep up, all right? But she did get her degree. She kind of made a career out of it. Remember that line? No one cares if, you got to strip to pay tuition. I know your mission. I get it. All right? But if Republicans want to say how she slept to the top, what did your former first lady do? To be fair, I've never seen Kamala naked. We've seen your former first lady naked. Kamala did pass the bar. She did get a law degree and become district attorney. What has Melania accomplished? Except being a mail order bride. So, and I don't like Kamala, but we got to look at this both ways. So yeah, man. Yeah, we got to stop calling her black, man. And Trump slowed down the Kamala train. This is what he did. He's very good at doing that. So don't underestimate Trump, man. Do not underestimate what this guy can do as far as his marketing abilities and how he can bring the focus right back to him. He is a master of controlling media narratives. And until you learn that, you will lose to this guy. I'm hearing again, oh, well, Kamala's smarter. And yeah, I mean, I can find some 3-year-olds that are smarter than Trump. But that doesn't mean that she's going to win. Hillary was a whole Rhodes Scholar. And what happened to her? She got stomped out like a bug. So this whole thing was just to get the focus back on him. This didn't show anything new. He wasn't there to appeal to black people, for goodness sake. I mean, this is, and again, to the black people, and you saw on my last post, Anton Daniels' goofy ass. Obviously, this YouTube, being a coon on YouTube is a big come up because he managed to go right up to Fox News and, just say basically what I'm saying about Kamala, but I'm not out here saying I'm going to vote for Trump. So, well, I am human first. Like I said, I'm not saying that helped her pass the bar exam. I'm saying she did get up with a couple of prominent people to move up. These are just facts. I mean, Willie Brown was 60, knocking her down at 29 when he had a whole wife and kids at home while he was a mayor. So don't say she had a bunch. She went to a bunch of high-powered events, and she went to a bunch of white tie events and rubbed noses with a lot of important people. So I'm not saying that she didn't study or nothing like that. I never said that, but she did. But it is what it is. All right. So and now she's again married to another guy. I think her man's another rich dude, another prominent dude. It just is what it is. But let's start saying that she's for black people like that. It did. Okay. I am human first. It doesn't help her learning law, but it helps her to make contacts. You can sit down and you can learn law online without making contacts. But to get to where she is, she had to make a lot of high-powered contacts. Willie Brown, mayor of San Francisco, one of the most popular mayors in the country, by the way, at the time. So, having pillow talk with him didn't hurt. He was a prominent Democrat back in the day. Prominent. Okay, you don't, but you need contacts to move up and to move up to be district attorney and eventually vice president. All right, so you do need those contacts. So to be a lawyer, like I said, you can learn law on YouTube. And I'm not saying that she didn't work hard, but I'm saying that she did hook up with a lot of high-powered people. And yes, her and that relationship with Willie Brown, it happened. It just is what it is. She isn't the only one. All right. I know that people are getting in their feelings because this is and again, she's not black, she's an Indian woman, but they don't want any sort of shade thrown short towards Kamala. But the bottom line is there is some dirt on her. She's a networker like Meghan Markle, a networker, unextraordinary people in extraordinary circumstances. All right. You're gonna deny that she didn't sleep with some prominent people on the way to the top? It just is what it is. All right. I mean, again, my point is she isn't the only one. I'm just saying that I'm not gonna sit here and act like she didn't. So people want to get in their feelings and act like, oh, you shouldn't mention that. This is politics. She's trying to run for the president of the United States. So I'm not against her getting a lot of stuff dug up on her. Now, our friend Pan-Africanism Strikes Back, he went as far as to say that she was an escort, which is just, That's that deep state, just weirdo, goofy mindset that he stays in. So I'm not going to go that far. That she was some high price escort. Like, she went out of school and she went to, like, so she graduated from from college, all right, and went and took the bar and she was an escort. Like, who? Where do you get this shit? Where do you get it? I don't see how personal relation makes you pay. Well, I never said that, but all right. But yeah, but I'm not going to go that far and just level those charges. But y'all got to start vetting some of these people. What's going to happen is they're just going to take advantage of you. All right, vet Kamala Harris. But again, this thing at the National Association of Black Journalists, this was simply a trolling move by Donald Trump, in my opinion. With all this shit, this was a trolling move for him to get all the attention back on him. Do not underestimate how this man uses the media. All right? Don't underestimate it. People didn't want him here from everything I'm hearing. The lady, I guess one of the vice presidents of the person who invited Donald Trump, she had to resign. So it was a bad idea to bring him. But he got what he wanted out of this. All right, being seen as racist or disrespectful to black women or what have you. Now, will some women look at him and say, I don't like how he spoke to women? Let's see, because remember, white women put him in office. White women put him in office. So we got to start asking ourselves, how much does this man respect, or how much does the country respect black women watching him berate a black woman the way he did? So listen, thanks for coming on, y'all. That's basically it. Like, share, subscribe, drop some comments as well. I'm going to be speaking more about your girl Kamala. There's a lot I have to say about her, and I'm going to look at, and I know people have been digging up her past, good, bad, or indifferent. I got to go over that as well. But this shit show was for Trump, even though I think he might have gotten set up. This was something that just put him on the map yet again. So he mad them. They made them look angry, bitter, and unprofessional. Listen, what he said about Kamala was true. And she sounded like a fool saying that, oh, she went to a black college and she was in a black sorority. Who gives a shit, bro? That does not make this woman black. So yeah, look, he got one rib in, but the rest of it was just total and complete disaster. Just like I said, like I said at the beginning of this video, just another mixtape to add to Trump's collection, and he didn't disappoint. And so yeah, man. Yeah, watching this was wild, man. But so yeah, thanks for coming through, y'all. Again, hit the like button, hit the share, hit subscribe, and drop your comments if you have anything more to say. And yeah, this right here, this dude. But peace, y'all. Big up on yourself, man. And I'll speak to you on the next one. Peace.